Hey, Money Tuesday, we are learning so much here. Have you ever dreamed of being rich one day? Well, you're certainly not alone, but what does it really mean to be wealthy? It can mean a lot of different things to different people. Marshall Clay here with the Welch Group, joining us with some tips and habits of people who have acquired some wealth and what they do, and perhaps the rest of us could follow as well. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So when we're talking about being, everybody's not going to be a millionaire. Today, millionaire doesn't mean as much as it did some time ago.
Right.
But there are ways, we're talking about really living comfortable.
Yes, we're really talking about financial freedom. I think you hear about it all the time. You want to get to a point where your finances aren't dominating every decision that you make every day. And so when you're thinking about how do you get to that point, there's a couple of key steps that I think you have to take. And I'm fortunate enough to work with a lot of people who display a lot of these habits. So I had to pick out just a couple just to share with our viewers.
Well, and we're going to do that, but I think it's interesting. I want you to share this with our viewers because I think most people think when you think of a financial planner, someone like yourself, you're always working with someone who's already wealthy, and you say that's not necessarily the case. They're middle class Americans.
You're exactly right. It's not always the case where they make a bunch of money, so it's easy for them to accumulate this great wealth. Most of my clients would be considered, middle to upper class, but they display a lot of discipline over a long period of time to get to where they are today.
Part of that discipline, living below your means. Talk about that.
That's right. Live beneath your means, but then the key thing is that savings take priority. So obviously, when you're living beneath your means, you have a little bit left over, and so then subsequently you save, and then you try to invest to grow that wealth over time. The key is you want that money to be growing for you, growing while you sleep, I like to say.
Yeah, you're not having to do anything, but it is growing because it's there.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and I think you and I talked about this. The income is irrelevant. I think life's all about choices, and so even if you're making, if you're not making, a large amount of money, there's choices that you can make to get that extra savings so that you can invest for the long term.
All right, and the next thing you say, we talk about being disciplined, long-term thinking. What does that mean exactly?
So what I mean by that is, any worthwhile goal in life takes time, right? So when you're thinking about our physical fitness, or if you're thinking about getting promotions at work, and certainly with investing, it requires a long-term mentality, because with the stock market, when investing and anything like that, over the short term, a lot of capital markets trade on narrative and sentiment, but over the long term, they trade on fundamentals. So if you have a reasonable strategy, which a lot of wealthy people do early on in their life, they give it time to work out. They don't get off their strategy if it's not working over a 6 to 12 month period. They stay the course, they keep saving, they keep investing in the 401ks, the IRAs.
I was going to say, most of our viewers would have 401ks. That's what our investments are. We're not playing the stock market, as they say, but that is how you build wealth.
Exactly, and I think they take a minimum of a 3 to 5 year time frame when they're viewing their investment strategy and trying to determine whether it's success or not a success.
All right, what's the final thing we have up on this?
The last thing is tax efficient.
Okay.
This is very key, and I know we've all heard the saying, it's not what you make, but what you keep that matters. And so the wealthy definitely take this to heart, and I think it's important because the government tells you, or they give you a lot of guidance on how you can save on taxes, whether it pertains to your company retirement plan, the 401k, whether it's IRAs, whether it's deductions, home mortgage interest, or standard deductions, or business deductions. There's all kind of things that the government tells you. They're very overt about it, so it's not some super secret book that the wealthy have to avoid paying taxes. The government's very upfront with the steps that all of us can take in order to save money and not have to give as much to Uncle Sam.
All right, the goal to, if you have that flat tire and you need some new tires, it doesn't freak you completely out.
Exactly
Something
right.
simple as that.
Exactly right. Financial freedom.
All right. Good deal. I like it. Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Merry Christmas to you.
All right. You're looking at, obviously, investing in your 401k, so it's a big part of that. All right. We'll see you next time.
All right.